Good morning, good evening, good day, good afternoon to everybody out there in the world. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are living in the verse, and today we're looking at Chapter 2 news and updates for Dune Awakening. So, my cullies, that's what we're doing today. So, I know it's been a minute, and I'm happy to be back. I hope you are as well. So, what do we have for today? Well, we got news and stuff and junk and things and such. To all your new subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing. It is always appreciated and greatly, greatly awesome. So, Dune Awakening survived the most dangerous planet in the universe. We are on Arrakis, and let's just take a look at real quick. And I know it's a little bit late in coming because they already did the roadmap. So we got a roadmap now, and the devs started with a little letter, and we will go through and just kind of take a little preview and see what the hell we got coming forward here. So here's the roadmap, and we have the monthly we'll say game loop, and we have our free updates, which is here in this area. We also have paid DLCs, which, if I am not mistaken, the paid DLC that's coming up this September, which is right around the corner, should be somewhere around $15 at most. I think it's like 12 and some change, USD, of course. But there it is there. We've got the last quarter Lost Harvest DLC coming in. We also have the Chapter 2 main story continues because, well, if you played Dune Awakening, well, it kind of left us with a little bit of a cliffhanger and some shit in our inventory that we really just can't get rid of, and it's just taking up space. So, wrapping up the story and getting rid of my inventory for the story beats is definitely welcome. We also have a Chapter 3 and a Chapter 4. I don't know what those are even going to be. I imagine that Chapter 2 will probably end, as far as the storyline goes, the free DLC stuff. Probably going to end in another cliffhanger, which is fine. It gives you something to look forward to, as we have been doing for many weeks now. The Lost Harvest, we have the Raiders of Broken Lands coming in first quarter 2026, and then second quarter we have the Water Wars, which I think would be kind of cool. Those are all paid DLCs, and I imagine they're probably going to be right around the same price every time. So at most like $15, which, it's all good. If you have the Ultimate Edition, I guess you get, what is it, the first 4 DLCs without having to pay for them, which is kind of cool. And of course, because I'm me, I went ahead and got the Ultimate Edition because, I could. So I did. And then we got more stuff over here. And then we come to the Chapter 2 free update and the Lost Harvest DLC. Oh, so it's $12.99. Well, there you go. And then the free trial, which is active now as of this recording, which is on the 20th of August, 2025. For those of you watching in the far future. And why you would be watching this in the far future, I don't know, but I think for the views, for when you do. In any case, that would be kind of it. So we're going to come back up here to the top, and we're going to look. Some of these things here, if we come yonder, we'll get, okay, do we got... okay, just more propaganda here. All right, so we're gonna come back up here. We're gonna take a look at the patch notes, and I'm thinking, let's see, latest, is it latest roadmaps? We might have to, oh, there we go, the patch notes for Okay, so no, those are old. Now they did do a little like patch. I think the patch was what it was 1.1.25.0, and some of the stuff that they were talking about in the upcoming patch. Oh, look at there, patch notes. Imagine that. So we got, all right. Is it? Nope, those are all passed. Well, let's take a look at these real quick. Because they might. There it is. Hotfix 1. All right. So let's see. Features and changes. All right. So this is the 1.25 patch. Now, they did say that they were going to be talking about some things. Well, here are the things. So they addressed gaps in the deep desert shield wall and landscapes. Um, if if you remember a little bit, some of the islands that were out there, you can kind of tell there is a visible gap between the asset of the island and the deep desert as the base of the map. So when you're looking at it, you can kind of see that straight line gap. So those they kind of fixed. Um, Fixed an issue that caused starter abilities to reset to level 1, causing players to lose skill points. You know what? I um haven't actually experienced any of that. Uh, the siege that I'm in and the world that I'm in is uh, from day one has been low pop. So I haven't really experienced a lot of these bugs and issues. So, in the comments, if you have, drop drop a comment or two about your experience and hash it out in the chat, like you do. Fixing the issue that caused the player to enter free look camera mode on a black screen or a completely on a black screen or a completely black screen if travel was refused by the server. So like, you get that message that, it's like what was it? It was like a J35 or something like that, or X35, I forget. But yeah, they kick you back out of the server. Ground vehicles now can be suspended by patrol ships, which is like the Sardaukar ships. If you're traveling in like Haga Basin and you see the Sardaukar ship come down and he's got the spotlight and shit going. I've always been like they've always hem me up if I was in a vehicle, whether it be in my buggy or on the sand bike. But if I'm in an ornithopter, generally they just you get like a buffet, or they force you to the ground, or they just kind of buffet you away towards the ground, but never were able to like catch you in like a suspension situation where they do, like if you're on foot or on one of the ground vehicles. So I can't really say that I've experienced any of those things. I've always been suspended. So if they fix that, that's kind of cool. They fixed a bug that caused detonating deployables to be stuck in a cooldown when entering a vehicle. Now, I guess that could kind of be frustrating, but again, hey, I've never experienced that, but it's kind of cool that they got that fixed. Fixed an issue where a player could spawn falling under the terrain instead of on the correct respawn location in Haga Basin, and fixed an issue where players would fall indefinitely if they fell through the map. Now you should be put on top of the terrain if you fall down through the mesh. Now, I have not experienced anything like that except in Star Citizen, and there are occasions where that's still an issue. But if you experience that, I'm glad you guys, you're not going to be experiencing that anymore. Hopefully. But that's the 1.25 bug and hot fixes, changes, and features and whatnot. So that was kind of cool. That's kind of cool. For the roadmap update, we have a letter from the devs. So we say, hi, everybody. It's been a while since we put out our last letter, and people have been chomping at the bit to hear more about our plans for the future. I apologize if people feel the communication around issues with the game has been lacking. Just a wee bit. We are focused on improving this with a percentage of the team having their well earned and state mandated vacations. Yes, vacations are good. Customer service and community team have not always had access to developers who can answer their every question, which is kind of normal. Those are busy people out there. In any case, we've been playing a whack-a-mole. We've been playing whack-a-mole with bugs, cheats, and exploits during the July month of summer. We've banned thousands of cheaters, fixed a bunch of duplication and exploit bugs, and continued working on the stability of the game. We've been working to achieve a cadence of patches that allows us time to make stable and consistent fixes while being fast enough to address issues like exploits before they got too far out of control. Yeah. Live game development is a blend of reactivity and long-term planning. This week at Gamescom, we are going to be talking about the Chapter 2 free update and the Lost Harvest DLC, which during this particular stream we will take a look at. We'll see if we can YouTube that stuff and get some content stuff there from their panel. Some of you will note that while Chapter 2 and the DLC add new content and cosmetics to the game, they are not focused on the end game. This is because Chapter 2 and the DLC were planned and began development before launch. So I think like one of the things that I kind of see is because I am an avid Star Citizen player, I will obviously reference that quite a bit. And there are certain parallels, humorous as they may be, still cause frustration and chaos in the fan base. But yeah, sometimes they get out ahead of themselves. They can't always do the things that they want to do when they want to do them in a timely manner for us, the player base, which, even in the short term, it kind of hurts their numbers as far as player engagement and stuff with the game. So getting on board and trying to make a mad dash to the finish line with some of this, tying up the loose ends and stuff, and figuring out how things are going to be balanced out to best suit the VPers and the VEers alike, so that they can cohabitate peaceably. you know you know But yeah, I kind of understand it from their side of the argument, but at the same time, I look at ours, and you know, we must consume mass product and then get more, be happy. But I think they've been kind of plodding along. They've come up with some pretty good changes. As far as I understand it, the way that the deep desert is cordoned off now, with the top half being PvPers and the bottom half more towards the shield wall is all the environmental guys. That is not gonna last. They're gonna want to put that shit back once they get some shit figured out. So if you play and if you watch, have that expectation that this stuff that we've got right now in the deep desert is limited, and it's gonna get a little bit more competitive with the granddaddy spice blows and some of the schematics and resources and stuff out there in the deep desert, once they figure out what they want to do and how they want to do it. So the way that I kind of look at the game is it's kind of an extended alpha, because they're still in the process of balance, rebalance, test, balance, rebalance, test kind of game loop there. But they're making progress. I think it's got legs, so it should be pretty good. So we take a look at our roadmap below. You can see both free updates and paid DLC planned for near future, and our monthly development cycle as it pertains to player feedback, bugs, and cheats. This monthly cadence is not necessarily always achieved, but it serves to give a window into our approach. So what we got here is a little bit of a open development kind of situation, not as open as Star Citizen, mind you, because CIG, their whole thing is they're crowdfunded, so they really kind of gotta you know, bring it, as it were, in order to make sure that, they can sell ships. And yeah, they sell ships. Their basic business model is selling ships. Um, so we got a little bit of a look here, and their monthly loop for bugs and feedback and shit starts with the player feedback, reproducing it internally, which of course they're going to do that. They have to. Implementing fixes and improvements, patch to test, and tweak as needed, and then of course patch to live. So they have a player test universe, as it were. I don't know what they actually call it, but player test universe does kind of fit the PTU, which is kind of cool. I actually recently jumped in on the one that was for the 1.20 patch, and of course you have to start over again. You have to go through all the fucking rigmarole, which is it's a bit daunting since you've already done it once before. And if you're like me, you want to be able to just, if you're going to test something, you want to be able to have a character that has the capability and infrastructure already available to you in order to go and test those things that they're talking about that they have fixed, or things that they want tested. Because if you got to spend another 40, 50, 60, 70 hours just to get to the point where you're at the situation that needs to be tested, hell, the test could already be over and done with, and you're like, well, fuck, dude, now what do? I wanted to test this, test X out, and now you're coming at me with a new patch with Y, and I gotta fucking start all over again, which is, that's not good. That's not good. They need to just, let you transfer your character over at the very least, because it's like, well, Star Citizen isn't really like a good example in that instance, because Star Citizen doesn't have any levels. Your character's abilities are all skill based. So, you catch a home base, you come out of your hab, go to your frickin' your hangar bay where all your ships are stored, and all you're transferring really is just your starter gear and your ships that you actually own, and whatever else you have on the subscription plan for rentals. So you kind of get there with everything that you need in order to test out whatever it is they got going. Well, Funcom needs to take a feather out of that cap and do something similar with your character, whether it's like copying your character from the live servers to the player test servers, or giving you the ability to advance the character's level to where it needs to be in order to test the environment that they're looking to have tested by the player base. So giving you basically a cheat menu, if you will, for your character, as far as like abilities, skills, and techniques, and so on and so forth that you need, including all the vehicles that you would be able to use if that is in fact something that needs to be tested, or makes things more easily achievable to be tested. So that's that. That's my thoughts on it, and that's all I got to say about that. To use a Gumpism. In any case, that's the roadmap. Now, as far as like this stuff right here, revamped endgame and more, and to be revealed, I'm not going to even take a guess at the to be revealed. I'm just not going to do it. There's so much stuff they can do and change and progress that, even attempting that's going to just, you're going to be like, well, of course I was wrong. But revamped endgame, now the endgame, so far as I see it right now, is there's a little bit left, to be desired. It kind of falls a little bit short, and the only thing that I can really say as far as what the revamped endgame might be is something that is something that's like repeatable. I mean, in some games, like Like EVE Online, there's a lot of the missions that you can just keep doing over and over and over. Just to grind materials, you can grind resources and things of that nature. You can you can I can talk. You can grind currency. You can grind materials. You can grind rep. The thing that I would see as a revamped end game would probably be something more akin to that. As far as the add more, hey, we already know what the add more is: more story, more skins, more Dune Barbie, and just different contracts, different encounters, things that they can phase in and out, whether it be like a seasonal thing like you have in like GTA, where they have, like, it snows during the winter months, or you have new jobs and new businesses and things of that nature. Although, coming to think about it, businesses in the sense of Dune, that could be kind of cool. I mean, how they would work that, not really sure. But if they had something along those lines, that would be kind of cool, because then it would give you kind of the opportunity to utilize all the other mats and uh, you know things of that nature in order to facilitate monetary gain and make that shit like useful. Because honestly, I mean, games are, they're kind of limited in what you can really do, because at the very end it's grind for resource, use resource, get better armor, stuff and junk, to grind other resource to get better armor, gear, resources and junk. I mean, it's in the end it's pretty repetitive, but I guess the real trick is to make it interesting. And so far, I think Dune is, they're on the right track, but it's still early yet. And a lot of people that I see that complain, and they're bitching and they're moaning and they're fucking pissing vinegar and shit. And I'm like thinking, dude, the game is not, it's not even like, dude, it just came out. It just came out, and we're getting our first DLC drop, and you're already bitching like it should be like a fully fleshed out game with all the fucking bells and whistles and stuff. And it's just not going to be that way. No game is like that, not anymore anyway. I mean, back in the day when, we were playing Nintendo 64 and junk, stuff like that was to be expected. But, how much did they really have to work with back then? I mean, memory was limited and graphics were, still coming along. So it wasn't really demanding. Nowadays, not so much. There's a lot to consider. So you get what do they call it? The lowest viable product to put out there and get shit rolling. And then you just keep adding to it as time goes by, so long as it remains interesting to the public. And I kind of see that going on, and it doesn't really bother me none. I mean, I've been clocking almost approaching 800 hours since launch, because I play a lot. And I'm just now starting to get kind of bored with it. But now it's like, 2 weeks away, or 2.5 weeks away, we get another DLC drop, and then, hey, guess what? Dopamine drops. So there's that. And in the future, every quarter, looks like we get a good DLC drop, and a little bit of a further development in the story. So as far as a tempo, I think they're doing pretty good. So with all of the new patch notes and stuff that are coming out and things they want to do, I'm thinking they're kind of on their way. We already got the cobalt paste. The cobalt paste. I don't know about the inventory. I haven't checked it. If it's there, I'll find out here shortly, because I'm about to jump in the game for a little bit before I head off to Betty Bye into Dreamland. But I wanted to come on and go through this real quick because, one, I haven't been on for a minute, and, life is going to life, because life does that. And it's, It's current events. So we're trying to keep up. We're getting there. We're getting there. Um, some of the other things that I think probably look good are definitely the ability to name. Where is it? There was there was a thing in here about being able to name your vehicles, your cargo containers, and other placeables. The other placeables thing is just got to be your manufacturing machines, your freaking your fabricators, which is kind of cool. These things right here, the planned activities are some of these things that could be good, and I'm seeing that they're like really starting to think some of this shit out. They're taking probably a ton of advice from all the players, wanted, unwanted, and or solicited, what have you, because no man is an island. But assassination, treasure maps, races, especially construction challenges, duels, faction on faction maps, improved control points, scavenger hunts, temporary crafting challenges, etc. ad nauseum. So, this is what I see. This is what I see. I see GTA Arrakis, which is not a bad thing, because look, if they start kind of going in that direction, even like EVE Online and freaking Skyrim Online, and there's ad nauseum, right? There's a lot of these that have this shit. More so with like GTA, I think is way more fleshed out because it's probably been around longer. ESO probably second, but the way GTA has it, dude, look how much shit there is to do in GTA. I mean, honestly, you're never bored. You can always go do something. If you don't want to grind your businesses, you can go and play with the other players in the lobby. So you can go do races, you can go do fucking one-on-one fucking V matches, and you can do races, you can do hunt and treasure, and all of the shit that they're describing right now, with the exception of the construction challenges, because you can't really construct anything in GTA. But the whole construction thing goes without saying that it would be there in a survival type situation. And if GTA had a survival component, I'm sure there'll be construction challenges there too. But one of the things that I was looking at specifically is the daily challenges. Like when you get into a GTA lobby, you have your daily challenges where you have to go deliver X amount of goods from one business, or you need to go do this race, or you go do that fucking Los Santos activity, like the golfing or the fucking the RC car races and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So things along those lines, I can see them implementing in Haga Basin, and because they said that other maps will be coming, and next year they will have the polar caps opening up. So I don't know if it's going to be like the North and South Pole of Arrakis, or if it's just going to be the North or the South Pole. Or let me rephrase that. I don't know if it's going to be the North and South Pole, or the North or South Pole. So that is yet to be determined, but I imagine it'll probably be both. It just probably makes more sense. If there's water on one side, odds are there's probably water on the other side. And we've already got story beats for that being an upcoming thing from the base story, where you're, what was it, the water guy, damn it, I can't remember the word. But basically he was the water shipper, right? And there was a change of guard thing happening, and you had to go assassinate that dude, which was kind of cool. I kind of like that. They need more of that, which they obviously they said that kind of shit is coming. It's just, they're like, it takes time to get this shit coded out and done, and stuff. So we got that coming. So definitely got a lot of shit to look forward to. They did say down here that they will make use of the overland map, and then spawning new maps as required. So yeah, instanced shit. on the overworld map, which they did actually talk about in one of the, what was it? Oh, one of the dev videos. I think it was during the beta that they talked about having stuff pop up momentarily for like a few minutes or so in the overworld map that you could happen upon or go seek out, and then they would have an event that's instance. You can go in there and do stuff and junk and things and such, and get cool shit and stuff to take back to the house, you know. So that could be cool when it comes, because at this point I'm kind of thinking that it's not going to be just like a, oh, we'll see if we can do it, if we can get some, you know, get some labor over there. But no, this is like, you know, this is what we're doing. It just, we need to get shit ready to implement it. The Lanzarad is the last thing we'll talk about. But the Lanzarad, right now, like at the beginning, I didn't really go to the deep desert. I stayed out of the deep desert for a really long time, and I could have gone there, you know, multiple times. But I'm just like, man, what the fuck do I need to fucking go to the deep desert for, dude? It's like I'm too busy over here building shit. And then the Lanzarad, I started looking at that a little bit closer, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. So we can, you know, go do fucking Dune FedEx and deliver shit and get stuff. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And as far as like the schematics and mats and things that you get from the Lanzarad, as far as rewards when you're doing it individually, it's pretty cool. I haven't yet been able to nail down anything on my own because, hey, my org is 2 people. It's me and the homie, right? And shout out to the homie, you know who you are. We're like, okay, what do we got on the Lanzarad today? So we go through our bingo card and we look, okay, this is cool, this is cool, this is you know, booty, this is booty, you know, this would be cool, but yeah, I'm not gonna kill 500 fucking sandflies to get, you know, this fucking schema. But now if they're talking about fleshing this out a little bit more and making things that are more task based instead of FedEx based, it would be kind of cool. Like, all right, now look, that's more in line with the way Dune is like in the books. It's like, okay, look, dude, I got this guy over here. We need to eliminate him, or we need you to go bribe him to go do something. So now I need you to deliver 10,000 Solari to this fool in hopes that he's going to, you know, do our bidding for us, you know, get us the info, get us the papers, you know, whatever, right? And there could be story beats there that could lead into all kinds of different shit, you know. And once you complete that task, you go get your reward. And depending on how well you do it, a time frame, maybe there's a clock ticking, maybe there's you know, there's a monetary value based rewards. Like, okay, you can go over and give him 10G, or if you got 100G, you can do this, and he's more apt to do what we want, and we'll give you this as payment. That kind of shit, you know? So really, as far as the Lanzarad being expanded into more than just a bingo card in FedEx, it could be so much more than what they got going as far as an end game activity, which is, you know, kind of ultimately what they want the Lanzarad to be, which is like, that's the end game thing. It's like, you know, you keep doing all of that and they keep coming up with more and interesting shit. So like reruns of the same ability might be, you know, less often, and diversity would be a little bit more prevalent. Whereas now it's just you're the fucking delivery guy, dude. It's like, you know, we want fucking, you know, Muad'Dib pizzas and Muad'Dib balls. So Muad'Dib kebabs. In any case, I digress. But progression in that, I could definitely see. You could do progression based Lanzarad shit. Like you would start out with one, almost like a quest line in some of the other and some of the other MMOs that I've seen out there, you can go pick a quest line, or even like the way that they got the contract lines here, dude. You got linkages. You know, you go do this, and this, and you're getting rewards along the way. But then you get the grand prize, which is at the end, and you complete your task, and they pat you in the back, and they're like, "Hey, how about some spice wine?" You know, kind of shit. And they could do that. That would be awesome, and have those kind of change up, be dynamic, be, you know, instance, or be PvP, which, you know, a PvP thing on the Landsrat. I think that might be a hit or miss, considering how the PvP community is at this point. But again, I'll reiterate, the seats that I'm in is like super low pop, and a lot of the stuff that I've been seeing on Discord and a lot of the things that I've seen on YouTube and stuff on, you know, gang banging fucking carry-alls with the scout ornithopter, or, you know, locking motherfuckers down to the desert so the Shai-Hulud will come and get them. I haven't experienced none of that shit. I mean, the whole time I've been out there playing in the deep desert, which is probably maybe 150, 200 hours, I've been attacked like twice, and none of my shit got destroyed. I PvP'd like once or twice, got killed once or twice, but that was it. You know, I've never had any problems with griefers or anything like that, with the aforementioned reason, low population, which is kind of good. I like it. You know, I'm not really big in PvP anyway, so it kind of works for me. But I do understand the prevalence of griefing in the MMO world when you have Vipers and Eepers together. It's not a good mix. So we talked enough about that. Now to the chapter 2 shit. And hey, free trial now live. We got a free flight. Sorry, it's a Star Citizenism. It says anyone can download the game on Steam and play for 10 hours. Okay, that's kind of cool. Let's check it out real quick. Does it got a link? Is it linked? Does it? Free trial. Okay, here's the propaganda. So we got Dune Awakening free trial is available until August 24, which is, oh man, 4 days. Okie dokie. Now, anyone can download the game on Steam and play for 10 hours. So you got a ticking clock there. And in the interest of making the experience getting consumed by Shai-Hulud more accessible to all, we are incredibly excited to open the planet for a limited time. We have also made it possible for a character's progress to get transferred if you buy the game during or after the trial, which is awesome. That's kind of cool. So we got a save file. Let's go over what the free trial encompasses in detail. Excruciating. Play for free for 10 hours. Okay. The timer only progress when you are playing, which is cool. So it's like, that's awesome. Explore the entirety of Haga Basin. Only Harko Village, Arakeen, and the Deep Desert are unavailable, which kind of understandable, but really? You won't even let us look? Well, I guess you got to have a little bit of something for the mystery, right? Keep your progress if you buy the game, and more details below. Free trial characters will play on dedicated free trial servers, which is kind of cool, I guess. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. I mean, I understand why there's, you know, cheating a little bit. I can see that. Yeah. So, meaning they encounter other free trial players, but not those who have purchased the game. Obviously, note, in case you want to keep the possibility of playing with friends who own the game by buying the game after trying the free trial, you must select the world or group of servers on which your friend's server exists. Duh. So what they're saying right there is, like, when you go into the game, you get a list of worlds, and it kind of branches out from there. So at the very top, you got the game. The game is broken up into worlds or realms, or, you know, what have you. Your main kind of the deep desert. I guess that's really what it kind of boils down to. is you're picking the deep desert that you want to go to because everybody in the siege below that all share the same deep desert. So I guess you could kind of look at it that way. So it's like, okay, what deep desert do I want? Do I want to go to fucking this one, that one, or the other one? So you pick that, and then below that is like 20 different sieges that you can play in, which are all the same map. It's all the same shit. It's just it kind of splits everybody up into their own lobby. And then when it comes time for you to go to the deep desert to go do all of the deep desert activities, everybody from all those 20 sieges, they all go to the same deep desert. But there are different deep deserts. So that's how that all shit breaks down. So there's that in a nutshell. You know, I'm not going to go into any more detail. You don't really need to. It's, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. When you get there, it's just, yeah, you know. So, you know, and knowing is half the battle. In any case, moving forward, onward, and with fervor. After you have purchased the game, you will be able to transfer your free trial character to any server within that world. You can try out any siege in your deep desert server. Okay, get rewards when you do buy the game. Oh, well, look at that. So if you do it this way, you get the deep desert mechanic schematic cosmetic. ADD sucks dick. Anyway, items are unlocked when you buy the game during or after the trial. These cosmetics are also available to existing players at in-game vendors. Yes, so you can go to Arakeen, you can go to Harco City or Harco Village, and you can buy the new hotness, which is a sandbike variant, which is basically just a skin. So if you got the sandbike, you go buy the skin. You can swap it over with your welder, and then the pieces and parts and stuff that you can build with is basically just a mechanic spot for, you know, yon grease monkey to set up in their garage, which is kind of cool. I went and bought them as soon as they came out, and they are pretty cool. Definitely worth the 20K, well, 40K that it cost me to get the bike and the mats stuff. So you get a bundle of basic materials when you buy the game to help you quickly rebuild your base. Oh, well, that's kind of cool. That is definitely helpful. As we mentioned, character progress is kept if you purchase the game. We want to be completely clear about what that includes and doesn't include. However, the following is transferred when going from free trial to purchased game: character journey progress, level skill, and tech points. Character backpack content, so you keep all your stuff. The following is not transferred: your base, although you can blueprint it with the Solido replicator, which you can make with the basic item fabricator, which looks like a big square cube. Vehicles. This can be circumvented by backing it up with a vehicle backup tool. Yes, you can keep your buggy. Oh no, you can keep your ornithopter, your scout ornithopter, or your sandbike in your vehicle backup tool, or I call it my pocket. Put it in my pocket. And then more than 10,000 Solari, which, you know what? 10,000 Solari does not really go that far. It's like literally having $10 in your pocket. So invite your friends, sleepers, to the Crucible of Arrakis and let them find their way. We'll leave you with a quote from Dune. A poison so subtle, so insidious, so irreversible, it won't even kill you unless you stop taking it. We can't leave Arrakis unless we take part of Arrakis with us. The spice must flow. So that is it, y'all, my cullies. Let's go back a spot. That's the free trial, and now we go to the freaking update. So what do we got in this? Can we like get in there? Let's get in there. Let's get going. All right. So we got the new vehicle. All right. We're going to stop and we're going to watch this. And odds are it's probably not going to have any sound. But if it does, fine. If not, I'm not going to go back and, you know, put it in there because stuff. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this right now. And we'll meet you on the other side of it.
It's in pieces. The cargo's vanished, and no one knows what it really is. Arrakis is full of secrets, ancient things buried deep. Need your help, stranger. A packet is the key to everything. Find it. Don't let anything stand in your way.
It's been a string of murders across the country. I don't know who we can trust.
We'll work with Arrakis. Stop it before he strikes again.
All right, my colleagues. So that is that's that. That is the chapter 2 update. That's the free one. So we get a little bit more of the storyline continuing after the cliffhanger that was chapter 1. No spoilers. I mean, ordinarily I give a fuck about spoilers and, you know, oh well kind of thing. I don't really care about all that shit. I like the story. If it's good, I care how it ends. It's the journey. But I will spare you the spoilers. So, what we're getting in this new patch is updates. Let's see, into free major content updates in the form of books and chapters and paid content from the DLCs and expansions. Generally, chapter updates will release in parallel with DLCs. Of course they will, because why not? So, we are getting new duds. So, from what I understand, we're getting hair and tattoos. We will also be able to re-envision our character with a I guess that kind of sums it up. I mean, if you got the way your character looks and you want to make him look a little bit different, say you want to, you know, make him look older and older and older as time goes by, then we can now do that. Or, you know, which would be kind of cool. Now, chapter 2 will be our first major content update. Embark on the next chapter of the main story following the sinister revelations at the end of chapter 1. Haha, no spoilers. Ain't that some shit? Explore new locations, meet new and familiar faces, delve deeper into the nature of your origins, which is good because guess what? You are the Kwisatz Haderach. You are the Lisan al-Gaib. You are the sleeper who needs to be awakened. In any case, we have unravel a web of that stretches into the darkest corners of the Imperium. Of course it does. Alongside the continuation of the story, Chapter 2 brings several new contracts, new dynamic encounters, new archetype armors, character recustomization, there's the word, and more. Well, the and more is the question now, isn't it? The Lost Harvest, which is the paid DLC, and one you get for free if you have already purchased, I think it's the Ultimate Edition. It might be the Deluxe. I think it's the Ultimate Edition. Hold on, my fucking mouse is driving me bonkers here. So, Lost Harvest is a paid DLC with a complete standalone storyline, which is kind of cool. I like that. A carryall transporting a miners guild, a carryall transporting a miners guild spice harvester has been shot out of the sky. Its cargo could change everything. It's your job to find it. Yeah, yes. Save the world. Okay. The DLC also includes several unique cosmetics, including a brand new vehicle, the tread wheel, which we can see down here. We'll see more of it in a second. Just hold your horses. Complete with its own unique animations and tier upgrades, which is nice. The vehicle and other cosmetics provide no material benefit over its base game counterpart, which is the sand bike. So basically, it's just a new sand bike-ish, and it actually looks kind of cool, dude. I can't lie. It kind of looks, it's kind of growing on me. I didn't really kind of like, I was like, really? Really? But, it kind of grows on you. Although I do like the area that he's in with the floating work lights. Those are kind of cool. These are kind of cool, but you know what? I'm willing to bet this is the Dune Man building set, which is something that we will be getting also. So now, see the Dune Man building set, letting you build bases in the style of those pragmatic and weathered workers of Arrakis. Yes. Okay, so I was right about that. But that was not really a big stretch. Now, the DLC available for $12.99 and is included in the Season Pass for $24.99, which includes the Lost Harvest DLC and 2 more major DLCs. The Season Pass is already included with both. Okay, so the Deluxe and the Ultimate Edition. We look forward to sharing more details on the DLC post haste, forthwith, and within the fortnight, I'm sure. Now, what are we getting? So Lost Harvest, Dune Awakening, Season Pass. We have got the tread wheel. Cool. Awesome. We saw a little bit of that during a trailer, which is kind of cool. We also have 3 Imperial testing stations, which are new, which is kind of cool. The Lost Harvest DLC and airlifted harvester has been shot down, and secret cargo can change everything, because why not? The Dune Man building piece set, which is kind of cool. I actually kind of like that look, man. Look at that. We got some scaffolding over there, which is awesome. I can do some scaffolding. Oh yeah, buddy. We got some art pieces over there. We also have 5 base decorations, which is, we have a what is it, the Solido 3D projector. These look like lights. These could be like floor lights. A bench, it looks like. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, oh look, there's 1, 2 missing. There's 1 missing. It could be in the back right there. We also have 2 skins for armors, which is kind of cool. A new weapon, 4 new weapon skins. That's kind of cool. And then the Thumper emote. All right. That could be cool. That could be cool. So now the free update, what are we getting there? So contracts and missions in Harko Village and Arakeen. Good. Recustomization of your character. Awesome. The story continues as you delve deeper into the nature of your origin and unravel the web of that stretches into the darkest corners of the Imperium. Yes, the propaganda is repetitive to the nth degree. Yes. Now, more dynamic encounters. Let's see if I can talk now. What that could possibly mean as far as dynamic encounters. Now, the thing with dynamic encounters, I've heard a lot of people talk about it on on YouTube and shit, because like YouTube's pretty much the only thing I watch these days anyway, because ADD sucks ass. I have not yet heard anybody describe these dynamic encounters as to what dynamic encounters actually are. Dynamic means in motion, with flux, with possibility, with, malleable or mutable structure. So when you do something, something happens, and that triggers the event. That's dynamic. It's moving, right? None of these people seem to get that. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting to hear more information, what you got to say about dynamic encounters and what they could possibly be. So they're like, speculating and stuff like that. And I'm like, why are you speculating on shit that's fucking staged? I mean, come on, people. Dynamic encounters. What does that really mean? All right. So, for instance, the crashing ships that come crashing to the ground. not really dynamic per se, because they're literally on a timer. They run out the timer. When it hits 0, a ship appears. It crashes into the desert. Another timer gets triggered, and it runs out. When it runs out, Shai Hulud comes and eats it. If you go over there and empty it or disturb it in any way by removing its contents, Shai Hulud comes and eats it. Now, if you empty the contents fully, Shai Hulud comes quicker. Giggity, 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 giggity. All right. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Are those truly dynamic? It's a stretch to say that they're dynamic. Dynamic means if I go over and do something, then I trigger something that occurs, right? That triggers the encounter. That's dynamic. I mean, it's pretty baseline, but that's dynamic. Now, an event based on that where, if you're wandering through, said Box Canyon or a valley or something like that on one of the islands in Haga Basin, and you run afoul of an ambush or, some such thing like that, and it triggers the ambush, or it triggers a ship to fall out of the sky, or it triggers the Sardaukar to come and kick your ass a little bit, then yeah, that would be awesome. But shit just left on a timer is, I would say it's semi-quasi-dynamic, because it's not truly dynamic. But if they're talking the latter and not, or the former and not the latter, then, we got something to talk about then. If it's just, like the ship's falling out of the sky, I mean, that's something. I'm not going to say that it's booty, because it's not. It'd be kind of cool. But if it truly is dynamic and it's based on stuff that you're doing in Haga Basin or out in the deep desert, like, it's like going to get spice off of Spice Blow in the deep desert or even Haga Basin. That's kind of dynamic. It's like there's a thing there, you go do something, and because you're doing that, it can trigger this other event to occur. So yeah, now having other shit like that happening around Haga Basin is, dude, I'm on board for that 100%. So yeah, that's something definitely big to look forward to. Now the armor, I like the Bene Gesserit right here. She is looking pretty cool. And the Mentat, yeah, right on. And I think that's like the Dune Man. And then these guys right here, that's probably an Atreides kind of thing. And this guy right here. As far as the Fremen goes, I don't see them adding the Fremen until after the main storyline is concluded. Once you conclude and wake the sleeper, that's when they're going to fucking throw in the Fremen. Because, it kind of goes with the books, man. It's like, kind of a no-brainer. But anyway, archetypes. 5 new armor sets to represent each skill tree. Oh, so we've got the Bene Gesserit, the Mentat, the Planetologist, the Trooper, and the Swordmaster. So I'd be the Swordmaster guy, because he looked like a Dune representation of a samurai. Dude. Yeah. So we also have new hairstyles. I think I said was it like 3, maybe 4 new hairstyles, which is kind of cool. And then tattoos. So we can get inked up and dolled up and do our Dune Barbie. So yeah. Now, okay, so we got, developer live stream. Okay, we're going deeper into the contents of both free and updated live stream featuring our community messages, blah, 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 blah. Now they'll announce the time and the date. All right, fine, cool. The soundtrack on vinyl. Man, who knew vinyl would come back, dude, right? I dig vinyl. I'll bet that shit sounds hella good. You know what? I would say I'd go and do that. But you know what? I don't have a record player. So, and I'm not going to spend fucking $600 on a good record player. I'm just not going to do it. But we can fake it till we make it. In any case, the in-game event, which would be, oh, here we go. So changes are coming to Arrakis earlier than you may think. Before Chapter 2 arrives, you will experience a new conflict that leads into the major update. What could that be? Interesting. So, once one tastes the spice and the blue eyes of Ibag start to take hold, one becomes bound to Arrakis forever. Yeah, we know. Okay, so the in-game event. Now, see, there's something to speculate. What could that possibly be? So, Chapter 2, if we go back up yonder. Now, I'm thinking that Chapter 2 is going to be part of the free update. Because it's like, not everybody's going to fucking drop their shit and go get the fucking, go get $12 onto their fucking shit, right? So, what I'm thinking, the in-game event, see, well, now you got me. You got me. Because that goes into spoiler territory, and I said that I would spare you that. But I'm thinking that the story beat that will come before the Chapter 2 drop is probably going to be closely tied to the main storyline of the free shit, which is like the main story, like, Wake the Sleeper type shit. The Lost Harvest thing, it might talk about that a little bit, so there might be like a tributary off the main course leading into that, but it'll be something that is not crucial to the implementation of the second chapter as far as the story goes. So I'm thinking that it's probably going to be something along those lines. Maybe something that grants some of this free shit that you can get up here with the free DLC stuff, like cosmetics or like schematics for some loot or some shit like that. Stuff that you can, like, not have to pay for. One of the things that that I did hear, and I don't know if it's in here, and I'll spare you my roaming around. Is looking around for where that talks about it. But say, for instance, here's the example. Say, for instance, you get the tread wheel, right? Because you got the paid DLC, you get the tread wheel, right? And your homie does not. And all he has is like at the base game. What you could do is you build the treadmill, right? You build the treadmill, the tread wheel. Why did they name it that, dude? Why did they name it that? Why did they name it that? The treadmill. Yeah, okay. That's coming, dude. I can see that. In any case, so you get the tread wheel. You got all the shit, and he got nothing. So you go manufacture the tread wheel. You throw it in your box. You tell the homie, hey, you can go get that fucking tread wheel out the box and build that shit. So now you can go over there and you put that shit together. Now, guess what? They have a tread wheel, and they didn't, there's loopholes. And they even discussed putting that shit in there on purpose. So it's not like an exploit or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about no shifty shit going on. It's that way for a reason, which I think is kind of cool. So even though you don't technically go and get the season pass for the stuff and the junk and the things and the such, you can still come away with a few things, right? I mean, you're not going to get the skins. You're not going to get the cosmetics and stuff. You'd have to buy the DLC for that. But actually, you know what? There might be a way to do that, because I know when you put a skin on your armor, say you have the Atreides light armor variant, and you put your skin on that, and then you put that in your storage container, there's an icon in there that shows that it has a swatch and a skin attached to it. So that could be something for testing. I might have to test that out because that could be a possibility. So that's something to look for. In any case, I think we've gone like a whole hour, dude, just fucking rambling on at the mouth. And my mouthpiece is tired now. So I'm going to use it to go drink some coffee and, smoke something enjoyable. I'll offer you to do the same and relax and take it easy. As I always say, stay living in the verse. Be happy, healthy, and safe out there in the world because it is a jungle out there. And until next time, my fellow gamers, sleepers, defenders of the spice, step lightly, y'all. Shai Halud is out there. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next one.